it is very likely that you are leaving a lot on the table when it comes to the power of your serve, but you're probably feeling quite motivated to do something about it. Today, I'm going to teach you the top 4 most common mistakes that are deflating your serve and that are keeping you from becoming an aggressive server. Let's go. The first one here is ball and body positioning. A lot of people, when they are serving, have a tendency to either drop the ball way down here like this, or they bend over like this kind of thing. There's a couple of things that are going on here. First of all, if you're the kind of player that is bending over like this when you're serving, watch what happens to your swing. Notice how I really can't swing too much all the way up, and I can't get that nice follow through. So if you have a tendency to bend over a lot, you want to try to stand upright. I'll talk about that in just a minute. The other thing though is your general ball positioning. If you're bending over, and even if sometimes you aren't bending over, if you're dropping the ball way down here like this, what's happening is that because the ball is so low, it's actually below the height of the net. And what's going to happen is it has to go up to clear the net, which means the ball isn't going down. So instead of dropping up here or down here, we want to drop up here instead. The trick to doing this correctly is to stand upright when we serve. So instead of being like this down here, we're going to force ourselves to be upright when we serve. The other thing, and this is really powerful, is to always have the net in your peripheral vision. So as I'm looking forward here about to serve, that net is always in my peripheral vision. I can always see it. That's going to help you serve upright like this instead. You're going to get so much more power when you do it that way. Real quick, just to let you guys know, I'm doing lessons here at the Pickler, individual and group in McKinney, Texas. If you guys would like to come train with me, let me know. I've got a contact form down below. Would love to help you out. The next thing is the swing. We have to make sure that we're taking a full swing. What we're going to focus on here is both the backswing and the follow through. I've got a couple of tricks for you. What you want to do for practice is when you're taking back your swing, you want to tap a fence behind you like this. And it could be a tennis net, it could be another pickleball net even. Tap the fence. So here you are about to serve, right? You're standing upright, take the paddle back and tap that fence. So many people do not take enough backswing. It's killing your power. The second thing is a follow through. When you do tap that fence and you swing through, you don't want to finish up here, abbreviated. A lot of people do this. They'll do this kind of thing up here like that. And the reason why they do that is because they don't want to hit it high, they want to hit it low instead. So it makes sense, right? But you have to make sure that you're following through and you're coming all the way up. Let me do it from this angle here, okay? All the way up like that. Here's the trick. When you do this, you want to scratch your back. See that? So back, swing, and scratch your back like that. If you're not scratching your back, you're not taking a full swing. So we've got 2 more tips to go, but with just these 2 things, if I do those 2 things, I'm gonna get way more power. And it's very much so effortless. And that's really the key to this kind of stuff. We're starting with sort of the basics here, but these fundamentals are gonna help a lot. By the way, if you guys are enjoying the video, if you think I'm doing a good job, would really appreciate a like and a subscribe. It really helps out the channel. Thank you so much. The next thing is weight transfer. We have to make sure that we're getting our weight transferred through the shot. This one's a little bit more simple, thankfully. The way we're going to do this, we're going to do it kind of comically and a little bit silly at first, but I want you to think of it like this. I'm a right-hander, so my dominant foot is going to be back like this, back here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a step up and then forward like that. Notice how the moment I take my left foot up, my right foot has all of the weight, right? So that means my weight is back. And then when I step and I transfer everything through, now my weight is forward. And that right there is going to give you a ton of power. Now, this is sort of a kind of closed, sort of semi-closed stance like this. Serving can be done open stance like this, and that's what I do personally. The same thing applies. When we have an open stance and we're going to serve, when you twist to come back, open stance should be another video, by the way, but when you twist to come back, I'm lifting up on this left foot here, and all my weight is on my right side, so that when I come through, it transfers to the other side. But just get started with the step first. So just take a step like that and hit the ball as you're transferring through. That is a big, big deal. If you're not transferring your weight through the shot, then it's just going to look like this, and you're not going to be able to get a lot of power on it because your whole body is frozen. Let me show it to you from this angle. Right? See how stiff I am? That's not what you want. Now there's kind of an exception to this, and that leads to point number 4. This is where it gets tough. This is where it gets crazy. It's the lag and snap. If you've seen my videos, you will often see me swinging with doing the slow motion. You'll see this kind of thing where I've got my wrist like this and the paddle is flat, and then I snap at the last moment. That's the lag and snap. It's in golf, it's in a ton of different sports, but it applies in pickleball as well. This is tough. Be patient with this, please, okay? The way this works is I want you to grab your arm like this. I want you to let go like that. Let go of this wrist. You want to make sure that you are grabbing your arm with your non-dominant, okay? Don't let go of the paddle, and then fling your arm around. And notice how limp my wrist is. This is kind of how it has to feel when you're coming through the serve. Now, do this. Grab your arm and then do a serve like this. Make sure it's completely limp. Don't chuck your paddle across the room. But do you notice how the moment I swing through, you see how the paddle lags behind like that? You see that? That's the lag and snap. What's important to understand here is that the kinds of serves that we learn in pickleball are very shouldery like this. And when we're beginners, we begin to learn these, and that's all good, but you're not gonna get any power on these types of serves. They're just too shouldery, and we don't have that kind of aggression to the shot. This is where your wrist comes into play. Now, this serve isn't necessarily wristy. It's just that we want the paddle to lag behind and then snap at the very last moment. So we're not doing this, right? It's not this. That is very wristy. It's more of a paddle lags behind and then snaps as we come up. What this does is it increases the speed of your paddle enormously, and that translates to power. Now, what's crazy about this is I can stand perfectly still and do this motion and get tons of power. Watch it from this angle instead. So I'm way back here. I'm not gonna move, I'm only gonna do the snap. Hitting the ball pretty hard. Even though I'm standing completely still, that one little snap with the wrist makes up for all of it. All right, cool, so how do we do it? The key again is the relaxed wrist. When I am coming through and I'm doing this shot, I am not purposefully holding my wrist like this. That is not happening. What I'm doing is I'm swinging so hard with my arm that as my arm is coming through, I'm so relaxed with my wrist lags behind and it snaps at the very last moment. So it's all about swinging with your arm and your shoulder. That's why we grab our arm like this and do this drill. That's what helps us to understand the motion, so that when we do it kind of in a real situation, it happens naturally. You just have to really relax the wrist. So whether you want to do kind of a semi-closed like this or an open, take the paddle back. We're going to do all the same stuff that we talked about, and then just whip the ball at the very last moment. Let's do it from this angle now. Same thing. I'm going to do the stepping serve, which is a great place to start, okay? See the snap. So I'll do an open stance one now, okay? Whew. So all of the mechanics work in tandem, making sure that I'm upright, having the proper weight transfer coming through the shot, making sure that I'm taking a full swing and then lagging the paddle behind and snapping at the last minute. That is how you begin to develop a blistering serve. I hope that was helpful, guys. If you want to see more, just feel free to peruse through my channel. I've got tons of content on here. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you next time.